Good morning. This is Mindset Monday, and I am going to record this, and hopefully you will be able to see it. It's only me on, so it's going to be really quick. I am going to give you some pointers on how to get your week going. And I have to go to my notes, so just bear with me for a minute. All right, let's see if we can do, no, we can't do this. All right, so let's do this. Oh, okay, I can't do that. All right, so I'm going to read my notes, so just bear with me. Okay, so we had a conversation last night on team meeting, and if you haven't been on the team meeting and you've been curious about them, I suggest you try. They are 8 o'clock every Sunday night. And we have different people who will present the team meeting. So it's always somebody different. But I wanted to refer to Atomic Habits, which is chapter 19, which talks about the Goldilocks rule and how to stay motivated in life and work. And it's hard sometimes, and we can get bored actually doing the same things over and over again. And that's what that chapter talks about. So what I wanted to talk about today was just to give you some thoughts to think about as you're preparing for this coming week and for next month. So if you think back to last week in your business, what was one part of your business you could have done better last week? And sometimes we need to write that down. Sometimes journaling really helps us to stay motivated, because when we see what we're writing down and we actually visualize it, there's a mental process that goes through that. And then ask yourself, how can you make small changes to correct that one part to do better this week? Even if you just break it down into that one particular hiccup that you didn't quite get, you weren't quite happy with your business. Another thought to think about when you're doing this process, when you're thinking about that one thing that you could have done better and how you can make a small pivot or a small change to do it better this week, think about this. Judging creates habits in mind and heart that prevent us from loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, and moving forward in relationship in your business. So if you start judging what you did last week, that wasn't good, I could have done better, there were too many interruptions, I didn't know what to say, the family got ahead of me. If you start judging all of the things that made that one little thing not happen the way you wanted to, then you go down a really bad way. And it's not healthy, and it's not healthy for your mental state, and it's not healthy for your business. So the thing about judging is it can really send you in a tailspin. So to stop that from happening, there's two simple parts that I'd like to discuss, because I try to do this every week. And the first part is create a weekly to-do business goal, not so much a list, but goals. So if you just create like a weekly list that you have that are your goals. Be practical. Start off by coming on the intentional inflammation meeting, which is every Sunday night at 7, and it's on this Zoom. And what we do is we actually look at our calendar, and we look at what's available to us as far as power hours, social media hours, brainstorming, which is Sunday nights. So look at come on to that at 7 o'clock if you can, and look at the calendar. If you can't, then take time to look at your calendar. What do you want to accomplish each week with your business? Examples. Increase your reach outs, your follow-ups, your sales, which will, if you increase your reach outs, that will increase your sales over time. It will increase your conversations. Maybe you want to work on conversations. Maybe, oh, all right, Jen's in the waiting room. All right, you're in the waiting room. Oh, there you are. Sorry, Jen. Okay, all right, got to get back to my notes. I know nothing by memory, by the way. All right, anyways. Okay, so what do you want to accomplish this coming week with your business? Increase your reach outs, maybe. You want to get more sales. You want to get more conversations, which will lead to gatherings and sponsoring. Is that something that you want to accomplish this week? Maybe automation. Like this week, today is my automation. I want to get project broadcast out. I want to work on my social media. Okay, those are examples. 2, break the weekly to-do business goals into daily. So break those into the day. So now you're going to really get a funnel. And as you do that, ask, I got to read my own notes, ask you to look at your weekly ask what days and how many hours do I have to work just on my business? That is not including unforeseen interruptions, because life happens. And when those things happen, when those unforeseen interruptions happen, even though you're making your weekly business goals and you're breaking them down, and we're going to go into hours too, you have to go back to that saying where judging creates habits in mind and heart that prevent us from loving ourselves and moving forward in relationships and in your business. So whenever something unforeseen happens and it takes your attention away from those weekly and those daily goals, go back to that statement, because what will happen is your mind is going to say, see, you didn't follow through. You made that time, you didn't follow through. So therefore your business is not, then you go down the shoulda, woulda, coulda. All right. And by not judging what's happening, you can move forward. So, and what you can do with those daily goals is even break those down into increments. And I try to do increments of maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes. I try to break them down. And sometimes the more simpler we can be with breaking our goals down into small bite-size, digestible, easy increments, it can sometimes help us to get things done. So an example would be maybe 20 minutes on follow-ups, or in 20 minutes on find, add, message, because it's very easy to get into like what are they? Like you spin your wheel, you keep spinning your wheel and you keep going and going and you can't stop. So if you have, and even set your clock, even set your timer if you have to. I have to do that when I'm really focused in. Maybe 10 minutes on commenting on social media. That can take forever if you find that you just keep scrolling and you keep commenting. 10 minutes on posting on Facebook and Instagram. Give yourself just that kind of time. You set your time, but stick to it, provided there's no family immediate situations that need your attention. Remember, life gets in the way. Don't judge you, because once you start judging you, then you'll go into what this chapter talks about, boredom. Then you will start to get bored. and you will start to, because your mind is actually trying to keep you comfortable. Your mind is not trying to see you grow, because when it sees you grow, it's using a lot of energy. It doesn't want to use energy. It wants to keep you very comfortable. But if you break your weekly goal business goals down into daily to do business goals, down into even an hour, and then break the hour down into increments. There's always power hours. There's at least 2 or 3 power hours every week. And that's another thing you can do as you're creating your weekly to-do business goals. Go into Circle, look at the team calendar, which is in Soaring for Success. You'll be able to look at the calendar and what's open to you to do your goals, to meet your goals. Coming on the power hours is very beneficial because, oh, hi, Jen, there you are. Is very beneficial because you have someone to work with, and you have someone that you can ask questions, and you have someone that you're accountable to. And our minds are visual. So if we have a person on with us, it says, oh, there's somebody else. It's not just me. So you have to kind of trick your mind. Don't be bored. And if you find yourself being bored, then go back to what your goals were. And if and your weekly goals, and then go back to what your daily goals are, and tell your boredom mind that I got this, and I've already worked it out. I'm not going to be bored because I already have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's very easy to be bored. Alrighty, I think that's it. I'll read you just a couple of segments from that chapter before we leave. Many of us get depressed when we focus on motivation because we think that successful people have some bottomless reserve or passion. Alrighty, and that's not true. Many successful people have a plan, and they put the plan in action, and they exercise goals and how to achieve those goals. Okay. The greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. And that's very true. And it's very easy to get bored with doing the same things. And that's why if you set some weekly goals and you break those down into daily goals, it will mix it up. It mixes your mind up, and it changes your mind, and it asks your mind to think differently. So that's what I got. I don't know if Jen, if you wanted to come off and
thanks, Judy.
give some insight.
I was a little late there. I'm glad that you went back to that chapter because I think it's important for the team to hear. It's important for me to hear. Maybe we could talk through this. I'm getting to the point where I'm like afraid of setting weekly goals.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you work through that?
So for me, anything that I'm afraid to do,
Yeah,
I have to think about the simplest way to do it. Keep it simple.
oh, that's an easy thing to do. Okay,
Like,
right.
so, yeah. So,
Okay,
right. So I'm afraid to get in front of people and talk. I just don't, I'm afraid to do it. So I do one-on-ones. I like to do one-on-ones.
right.
So that's how I can get in front of people one-on-one and talk. And then if that ends up being 2 people, it's not so bad. So and that goes with little increments, So does that help?
Now, do you have a goal every week on how many one-on-ones you schedule?
I always try to do 15
Wow.
because
Woo!
I never get it done, but I always try to do it. So for me, if I make my goal bigger,
Yeah.
but I don't achieve it, at least I've done some of it.
Okay, so that's the opposite of me. So I would probably, I mean, I know that we're supposed to reach for the stars, no,
Mhm.
reach for the moon and fall upon the stars.
Right.
But I'm almost like, let me shoot for 5. If I get that, then I can go for 10. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but if I go for 15 and I don't hit it, then I'm paralyzed
Okay.
usually.
All right.
So, but I'm working on that. I'm working on
That's
it.
good.
I'll
All right.
have something to work on, right?
So what would you tell your children for goals? How would you,
Oh, stop.
well, let's take the saxophone.
Yeah.
You know, we
Um,
go ahead.
so I always, for anybody that is not friends with me on Facebook, my daughter was invited to honor band as a 6th grader, and that's usually 7th and 8th graders. And she didn't want to do it because she didn't want special treatment. So what I told her was, it would be good for you. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but I just want you to give it a chance. And she came back that first day on a high, super happy, glad she did it. Like, can't believe that she was going to say no to this opportunity. So yeah, I tell them, I tell my kids to work through the uncomfortableness. Okay.
And when we do that, our brain is telling us everything that happened to your daughter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be the youngest. They're going to be older. I
Yeah. No
probably won't.
friends.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all the stories that, we
Yeah.
do. But if her goal is to really be the best she can be as a saxophone player, the best thing to do is to get with people who are better than her.
Right.
Right. But
Right.
it's scary,
Exactly.
but it's scary to do that. So how can
It
you
is.
put that kind of mindset into your business, knowing that it worked for her, but it was scary?
I mean, you just got to surround yourself with the people that are already where you want to be.
Right. And stretch yourself. So
Yeah.
maybe, maybe going from 5 for you, maybe
Yeah.
going to 10,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also not judging if you did 4 or 6.
Right.
Know,
At least I did
just
something.
right. And for the next week, like look at the next week. When you get to the end of the week, look at the next week, that week, and where can you change and pivot to
Right.
increase it.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
All
Great
righty.
topic.
Okay. Short
I'm
and
gonna say
sweet,
hi.
but yeah. All righty.
Yes, short and sweet is good because
Yeah.
when we watch the replays, that's what we like. So
Yeah, that's right.
thank you,
All
Judy.
right. Yeah, welcome. All right. Talk to you later. Have a great
All right.
day. All
You
right.
too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Oh,